Hi everyone, my name's Electric Donkey and welcome back to the NPC tutorial series thing. So we're doing the kind of conversation dialogue type NPC first, which we're going to build on. So let's just dive straight in. So we should get it finished actually today. Won't be able to do options quite yet, but it will be kind of. You'll be able to see the options, you just won't be able to press them. So this is what we're going to do now quickly. Is in a create event, we're going to create the array to hold the options. So what this is going to do is it's going to, actually we're going to write it here. This makes it easier to input text to the sub buttons. So these are the little options buttons we're going to have underneath. And the array is going to be called options, quite conveniently. So 0 is going to equal null. So if we've got 0, well, we don't want to put out 0 at all, really. It's just going to be there to kind of provide the bit later. We'll do a for loop, I believe. And if it hits 0, then something's gone wrong. This is option 1. This is all we're going to put in at the minute. Pardon me. And this is just going to make it really easy, so we can just go to here anytime and just change these variables. And we can also change it depending on certain things as well. So we can go back and change these variables anywhere in the game, pretty much. So now we're going to go into a draw event. Full screen this because it just get a little bit messy. So first thing we are going to do is we're going to call this, not going to call this, we're going to call it a drawing manager. So this is actually going to manage all our drawings that's being outputted by this. So first thing we're going to do is check if our mode, remember we said that last time, so this is NPC mode. Just going to check if it's true, because otherwise, if we're not already in the mode, we don't want to do any of this apart from drawing ourselves, because that is very important. So just here we're just going to make some indents here, just to make it a bit easier to read. And this is going to be the main text box, and in here we're going to store everything with an alpha of 1. Gets drawn first, and this is just give you a bit of a memo to say the different sections within here. We're going to have a draw set alpha 1 to start with. This just resets any values you had before, and then we're going to draw some text because we're going to want that in 1. This is just going to be 30, 30, and then this is a text box. It can be whatever you want. This will just be the bit that gets outputted in your main text box, not the options which we've already set. So not them. And now we're going to draw a round rectangle, I believe. Yep. We have 10, 10, 7, 10, 6, 80. These can be whatever you want, really, to be honest. As long as you see, I've gone for a 10 border around the outside, but here you've got to leave a certain amount on the Y, so underneath you can have your options, otherwise they'll be off screen, which isn't good. So that's all we really need to do here. And what this will do is just makes a little outline for it. Now we're going to do everything with an alpha of 0.4, basically kind of transparent. Let's just put kind of transparent. There we go. And again, we're going to set the alpha now to 0.4. And here, I think all you have to do is, set the rectangle. And this is going to be just 10, 10, 710, 680, but this time it's going to be false, so this is going to actually fill it in now. And then just as a check, just to set everything back to normal, we're going to set the alpha back to 1. Okay, so now we've actually drawn the main text boxes, so we can go and test this out really quickly. And we should just be able to see the main text box come up and say this is a text box, but there won't be any options yet. Which will be there. Forgetting my words today. Which will be which you can choose your options. So we've already set the options array, and that's just what we're going to do. So you can see here we've not opened it yet. I think it was E our interact key was, so let's just try and hit it now. And there you go. This is a text box, and you can program this to say whatever you want. And then here we'll have our options choices. So we might actually want to push that up a little bit because it's a bit small at the minute. But you know, you can do whatever you want. But you can see now that works perfectly fine. If we have it open and move out of the range, it closes down. So it's perfect. So that's all working nice and good. We can go back into our object NPC now and back into our drawing manager. And now we're going to draw text box. It's pretty vague, that, isn't it? Let's just get rid of that. You know, that's kind of all we're doing here is drawing text boxes. So again, we're going to put a little indentation. It makes it easier to read. This is going to be called sub boxes. Oops. There we go. Now this is a bit more complicated because it's going to have to loop through. So this loops through, whoops, through twice and creates 2 boxes. And these are going to be the same kind of size and everything. There's no calculations really that go on. I've just written out specifically for this, I believe. Yeah, you could change it quite easily. We might go back and do that later. But I've also put a note here as well, which is quite big-headed actually looking at it, saying efficiently. So this is quite efficient. We'll go back and make it a bit more efficient probably later, because looking back at it, it's not great. So basically we're just going to have a loop here, and this is where our options come in before. Yeah. So we have 1 and then we'll have 2. You can change this to as many as you want, provided you change the bits in a minute, which I'll show you. So, again, everything... Actually... Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Let's just copy this bit here up to there. So that's exactly the same. And then underneath here, again, we're going to draw some more text, but this time it's going to be quite different because we're going to have our little calculations in as well. So first we're going to have 20. So this is just slightly along from this, and then plus 360 times brackets. Just making sure I get this all right. I minus 1. I'll explain this in a minute after we've done it. And there's 69.25, very precise of me. Options I. Oops. There we go. So what this does is it's saying 20's our first one's going to start at, and then if we're on our second box, we want to move along by 360. So this is all it's going to do, because that's just going to be 1 if it's 2, and if it's nothing, then it'll just be 20. This, I can't even remember what that was. I believe it was just a sensible amount that I thought was the good way to put it in, and then this is just going back to our options array and using our I, which is here, so either 1 or 2, and then using that. Sorry again, got a bit of a cough today. So now we're going to do another rectangle, and this is going to be pretty similar, but this time it's going to be plus 10. Yeah, so this is just so it draws it inside our rectangle of the text. And this is going to be exactly the same, 360 times I minus 1, and then 690. Yeah, that's what it was. It was just kind of weird that was. But it was just so it fits inside this box. Oh, not feeling great. Times by I. And again, that just moves along accordingly, like this did, yeah. And then true. Wait, no, another one, 710, and then true. Okay, and that's our first rectangle. And now we're going to do everything with an alpha of 0.4. And in fact, here we can just copy this rectangle bit. And then put writing all out again, just put false. Oh dear. Right. Now we're going to draw set alpha again. Back to 1, so it refreshes everything. And I believe that is it. So now if we go and run this, we should get a nice text box with 2 options underneath. So let's see how this goes. Right, so we need to walk over again. Long process, but we've got to do it. And yeah, there we go. We've got our options, which we input it into our array, all nice and working. Oh dear. Yep. So you can change these around to change whatever you want to say, and you can change this as well. So yep, that's all working nice and perfectly. I'm gonna wrap this up pretty sharpish because I need a drink. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, remember to like, subscribe, and I will try and get a drink for next time. And I'll talk to you later.